Professor Abraham, and Nana Kobrankatia, the fourth. Nana Kobrankatia, the 50.
Okay.
Ne wafa on nozi nazi. He Nana Kobrankatia, the mind of Esikado.
Yeah.
The king that he inherited was also a professor at Legon. In fact, he transited or he managed the transition of the University of Cape Coast to University of Ghana.
Oh, I see.
You know.
I see.
Yes. At a seminar, he told us the story of a young woman in Cape Coast who urged the men to get up and fight white domination. She was a very beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Most of the men, the men of substance wanted to marry her. And she said she only married the one who is able to kick the whites out of the castle.
Wow.
That she had been taught to live like us. That when she grows up and she gets married, she'll be second class citizen to her husband.
All right.
Which was the normal thing or the usual thing.
Wow.
But what she was seeing was that the men had become second class citizens on their own land.
Yeah.
And therefore, if she married one of them, then she would be a third class citizen. And she didn't know how to live like a third class person.
Oh. So that's the story.
That's the basic.
The basic story. If you want the full story,
you
need to go watch it.
The National Theatre.
When is it showing?
Friday and Saturday.
Next week, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday is 15th.
Friday 15th.
Saturday is 16th.
Saturday is 16th. And then we'll continue at Legon on Sunday for the 13th African Games.
All right. Yes, all right. So the Friday and the Saturday at the National Theatre.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And then 17th
wonderful.
At the Athletes Village at Legon.
Wonderful. Yeah. Ato, Ebe now we play with them. Play.
Nana Mwesi. Me play Nana Mwesi na akapemo asam. Hina in the making. Na wo hihye na metu be di hen. And so Obandama, you have to look for a prospective wife. Obia Eshanyin Bubuman. And I always keep this in notion that we can't celebrate the Ghana month not recognizing the impact of women in society.
Exactly.
I mean, Adjemisa, women's instinct, that is one thing it seeks to address. How to empower the embassy from
the inclusion, the women inclusion
in everything that we do. And it cannot be so. Coinciding with the Ghana month, no ma bibia to the not the missing okay na what's being was shembe the whole of Ghana, and yet the back of the baby. So at least you need somebody who is very powerful.
Yeah.
Na mesima okare no nche de enyi bu mana obey. Na maba budwim na menyu dinkomo. And then I came to propose to you, I mean, at the marketplace of all places. Na lady you gumenyima se.
Ogumenyima se. A man a ring go.
Me yama me bia.
You knelt down on one knee.
Mr. Boshe,
what's me rado?
I play be a mess and a meso.
Oh,
the woman king.
Yes.
And a Black Panther.
Yes.
Ya kabum.
Oh, them not like a combination. Obi
can come to double two twins.
No, this one I'm Shebia now, Charlie.
In fact,
I told
2018, experimental performance.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We did it in front of the castle in the open.
Wow.
Yes. And in fact, we are African Americans. We are the Cruz Demrica. What can we introduce him as a writer? Director no Zemika. We want to see this. 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 Yes, good eyes. If I say every African
I wish you even tour the country with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every African, every black colored person must see that play.
How much is the ticket or the ticket selling for?
The tickets in your 3 categories.
Okay.
Yes, 200.
Okay.
For individuals.
Obia. Today,
okay. But if people are able to organize themselves into groups.
Okay.
Yes, like
a group of 10.
10 and above.
What about them?
50%
discount.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be schools, it
Could be schools,
churches,
Okay.
It's my
corporate
school for the-
institutions.
Ghana National College for the Nkrumah school. Nkrumah school, you become
But
that.
yeah, the man yeah biased to. I mean, some school for her.
Just now,
Go for the secondary school. Say also from Motibuati Senior High School.
And you want to organize on Waba. That's one way offshoot of Ghana National College. Nkrumah Olonche Ghana National College. One of the lies was that we stretching forth our hands across the tables and the blackboards.
Yeah.
That very soon across Ghana we should have Ghana secondary schools.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So categories, no, am I in court?
Yeah.
200.
There's another one on here for everybody who is related to the 13th Africa Games.
All right.
On here 150.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Joy 99.7 FM. I'm right here in the studio. Abeku Sego, yeah, great actor, filmmaker, writer, producer. He's right here, and also Atogate, who is starring in this stage play. You need to see this on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, staging at the National Theatre. Time?
5:30.
5:30 and 8:30. Two shows a day.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, how many shows?
Sunday is one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But I've been joined by my brother. Yeah, he is a film critic, film writer, and also the founder of GHMovieFreak.com. Tony Asankuma, my brother. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kwame.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm great.
How's the film industry going?
The film industry is it's going.
Observing from afar as a critic.
I'd say it's seeing a resurgence of some energy.
Wow. Have you seen any of, how do I put it? Have you seen any of the recent films?
Yes. I've seen a couple of films. I've even seen some that are still on editing bench yet to set a release date. And
wow.
Just last Wednesday there was a premiere. Evo. Yes. On the 6th of March there was a premiere. It's actually still showing in the cinemas. There's another film coming on the 29th. I think 21st. There's also one happening. So I think there's some new energy.
So
in the space.
why do people say usually on social media are Ghanaians producing movies? Are Ghanaians producing movies? Why do they say that? Because almost every time I see flyers around, they send them to me, I post them. But they keep asking, creating the impression that our film industry is dead. Why do they say that?
I think it's because it's demand and supply, right?
Okay.
There seem to be not enough demand for Ghanaian films.
Okay.
So they are not looking in the right places for these films.
All right.
But also it's because someone would argue that they do not have access to these films because they are expecting that they can easily get a Ghanaian film on their Netflix or on their
We will
YouTube.
get into that.
Yes.
This is just introduction. Joe 99.7 FM. So let me ask you, if you're listening right now, please send to me via WhatsApp number 05511119997. Which movie would you say is your all-time favorite Ghanaian movie? Just send the title to me right now. 05511119997. 05511119997. But Tony, let me come to you again. What do you have to say about this new craze about theater in Ghana now? You know, the revival, the renaissance, if you like.
I'm happy you chose your words right and said revival, and it's not a new craze.
No.
Yes,
not
it's been around. It's been around for years, and I'm excited about the new energy that is entering into the space, particularly on the back of the success of some other theater production companies.
Exactly.
And it's almost become attractive to a point where it looks like a healthy competition, that everyone is trying to outdo the other in terms of putting together not just a huge crowd, but putting together a spectacle, a show that people will talk about and would want to see over and over again. So I'm excited about it. I'm happy that I wish we get to a point where almost every weekend there's something happening at the National Theatre.
I think we are getting there.
We are getting there. I'm looking forward to that point where I would have to pick up my calendar and be like, hey, this weekend, every weekend I
It's
have
choked.
a show to attend at the National Theatre. And I think it goes a long way to speak to the hunger or the demand for theatre in our space. And it also goes to speak to the dedication that these stage production companies are putting into making sure that they put together these spectacles, together these plays that are memorable. And we are hoping for more, and we are hoping that all the support that they deserve, particularly from all the areas that matter, they get it and are able to sustain and keep going.
I'm coming to the support, but let me come to you, Uncle Abeku. So I think 2 years ago, you spoke to Graphic Showbiz and you said that theater had become an orphan of the creative industry, and now it appears there is some sort of, just as I just said, this whole revival is bringing us or giving us a new love for theater and all that. But would you still describe this particular industry as an orphan, especially on the back of all the things we've been seeing now? Please answer that, and then let me ask you the next question. I have another question for you.
Well, it's like the orphan finds a benefactor who takes him to school, who goes to register him in a good school too.
Yeah.
Then, he is there, but not completely out.
Yeah.
The revival, like he said, or you also said,
Yeah.
There's a revival.
Yeah.
But there was a time when theater was virtually the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s and the 90s and early 2000. We suffered, like all other live events. Theater also suffered the effects of curfews and those kind of things.
Exactly.
But it took theater a long time to shake itself up, and it's come with a big bang, if I may put it like that. It's come with a big bang,
In that same interview, you made an analogy with football, where you say football teams don't pay for stadiums, when they're going to play, but they share gate proceeds.
Yes.
So you were suggesting that maybe same thing could be applied to the venue like National Theatre. So you go maybe stage your play and then you share the proceeds. Is this something that you've discussed with the authorities? Emmy is available and the board is there. Have you discussed with them?
Yes, well, the National Theatre has gone into what they call co-productions.
Okay.
With good productions.
Yeah.
I mean, the production has a quality. You co-produce.
Okay.
So they present. They have the artists, the drama, the dance group, the drama group, the music group, the symphony. So if you want to use them, like I'm doing,
it's a partnership thing.
It's a partnership.
Okay.
The drama, the music.
So a woman's
dance.
instinct is a partnership with the National Theatre.
With the National Theatre.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, and the Beyond the Return.
Oh wow!
Beyond the Return is also around, and the 13, because it coincided with the 13th African Games. I was able to talk them into also coming in.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, Joe 99.7 FM, we're still here. Please, you need to go see this play at the National Theatre, 15th, 16th this month, March. So you need to be there. Go see Uncle Abeku Segu's play, starring great actors like Atogate. We have Edna Matachi. We have who else?
Abi Adachi.
Who?
Abi
Adachi.
Okay.
Abi Adachi, for almost 6 years running, was the actress of the year.
Okay.
The young ones may not know this.
Oh, I think Tony knows about it.
For almost 6 years running, and that was when the entertainment reviews, ECRAC,
we turn into ACRAC later.
ACRAC,
yeah.
And then, these days everybody's an actress of the year. but that is when ECRAC was the sole entertainment review body. And for almost 4, 5, 6 years running, she was the actress of the year. She was also a teacher, so at a later point she concentrated on teaching. And then she became an ambassador, Ghana's ambassador to Canada also. But now she's back.
Interesting.
Yes, now she's back, and when she heard, I used to be with her in the same drama group, Talents Theatre.
All right.
So when she heard I was putting up a play, then she picked the phone and said, Nabeku, Martin, I was here play, I'm from.
Oh.
So this is Her Excellency. Plus, me actress before I became an ambassador. Acting is my first love.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the younger women have taken to her and you know, I consulting her and all that, and she's freely advising.
Okay.
You know, she's freely advising.
Okay. So we have Atu, we have
Mauli
Semevo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another
yeah.
great actor. Yep. Do we have David Donto?
David Donto.
Okay.
But David Donto will not be in this run, unfortunately,
Okay.
because she's traveling tonight.
Oh.
He's traveling. He's going out tonight, but he will come. In fact, for no year twice. The Africa Games, you know.
Yeah.
There will be 2 runs, 17th and 24th.
All right.
But David will be around for the performance on 24th.
Oh, wonderful. Joe 99.7 FM. I'm asking you, please name your favorite Ghanaian film. Yeah. Your favorite Ghanaian film ever. You can name that. Send it to 055111197. We're talking about a stage play titled A Woman's Instinct, which is put together, produced by Abeku Sego, produced, written, directed. Oh yeah. You do everything, sir. That's impressive. So please be part of this one, and we've been joined by my favorite uncle, Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken, you're looking dapper, man. Dapper.
I knew you were going to bring this
Dapper.
up.
Oh,
Instead of just welcoming me and leaving it there,
Looks
I
like-
knew you were going to.
Did you go to a wedding or?
I'm from my
pajama?
sister's. I'm
Okay.
from my sister's 60th birthday party
Oh,
luncheon, so to speak.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a church service this morning, and I have just left the Imperial Peking Chinese restaurant,
Oh wow!
where a whole heap of people are there. But because of this show, I
Yes,
had
you
to
can't be
come.
absent.
You know, I had to come because you know what? Even at the event,
Yeah.
a lot of her classmates. My sister went to Abri Girls
All right.
secondary school, and so her classmates were all at the church service. And when I was introduced at the church service, a lot of them came to me afterwards and said, "Oh, we listened to you on Showbiz A to Z.
You see.
We listened to you on Jazz on Joy.
Yeah.
Those who listen on Ken's Music
Mix.
I was so happy that people listen to the station.
And I'm sure they're
when
listening.
I was leaving, I had to say to them, "I'm coming to Showbiz A to Z now."
Yeah.
And they all said to me, "Oh, we'll be listening on our phones while we are."
Did you write the list?
I,
You need
it
to
was
shout
too
them
too
out.
many people.
Okay. Okay.
No, too many people.
I would have sent them tickets to come to the National
To the
Theatre.
You
National
see,
Theatre
to
as
come-
well.
to come
My
see the
sister's
play.
name is Mrs. Nana Ajiman Ampofu.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's her 60th birthday today, so we all had to be in white.
Exactly.
That's why I'm dressed
Oh, why you
in
fedudu?
white. Sawa.
And yeah, young coming out, Uncle Ken.
Thank you, Kwame. Thank you, Kwame.
All
It's
right.
Good to be here. And
Good
nice
to
to see
have
Abeku.
you.
I haven't seen Abeku for a few years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Not yet. I think he was.
No, yes,
he was
yes.
here last year.
Yes. Was he here last year?
For a discussion.
Maybe I
on
wasn't
film.
here then.
Okay.
Because I
maybe.
haven't seen Abeku for about
Well,
2-3 years.
Oh,
No, not 3 years. Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. All right. Joy
to see you.
99.7 FM, and we're here to have a bigger conversation how to use our films to shape the Ghanaian society. Yeah, we're celebrating Ghana Month in a grand style. Yeah. And today we have the greats or some of the great minds in this industry seated. Tony Asankuma is the founder of ghmoviefreak.com. He's a writer, a film critic. I have Atugati, who is also an actor, and then Abeku Sego is a film director, producer, actor, writer. Yeah, we'll be joined on the phone lines by King Ampao. Yeah, the legendary King Ampao. And then Ejako, Miki Osebeku will be joining us later here on the show. Joy 99.7 FM.
So, which part of Kokomlemle did you say you were going to?
Around 80 TC.
Around ATTC?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's nice.
Oh, you have a nice car.
Oh, this is one of my smallest cars, you see. I just got back from Hamburg. And, you know, My goods are not even in yet.
So you mean you're not going anywhere at church?
Oh no, I'm just strolling around.
Wow.
What did you say your name is?
Asabia.
Sabia. Oh, coincidentally, that's the name of my mother.
Oh, interesting.
My mother is also Asabia.
So how long have you been in town?
Oh, just about 3 days ago, you see. I've been in Hamburg for the past 20 years. My name is Tada Boat, but in Hamburg, they call me the Boat. What's the name of your husband?
I'm not married.
Oh, but why are you not married?
I'll marry when the time is due.
Oh, nice one. Me too.
Joy 99.7 FM, and you're still listening to Showbiz A to Z. Coming up, we have so much more to give you. For example, you'll be listening to this as well.
Me papa was sika bebre. 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 Otoka ma mi enyewe. Otoka ma wa enyewe. Because Muslim. Otoka ma mi enyewe. Otoka ma wa enyewe. Mempetiku. Mempetiku. Na je wo frokoso. Mempeponi. Mempeponi. Mempe fiat. Mempe astra. Mempe golf. Mepe land cruiser. Mepe lomozi. Mepe Lincoln.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
Joy 99.7 FM, but back in the day, 1983, I'm sure that you watched this particular movie.
Mary has told me that most rich men in Accra have only one wife.
The rich men have got many wives, just as our chiefs.
No.
Every man can have as many wives as he likes. I will also have many wives and children when I am rich.
Bob.
Yes.
Promise me that you would marry me. Only me.
I promise. Only you. No second, no third, no fourth wife. Okay, Abina.
Stop it, Bob. I have to meet my father at the lorry station.
Your father, always your father.
Why don't you ask him if we can ever get married?
Do you know what he'll say? Bob, what are you? You're a palm wine tapper. I'm not giving my daughter to a poor man like you.
Ah, you are stupid.
Your father thinks he's something special just because he drives a lorry.
If you don't ask him, you'll never know what he'll say.
And if he says no?
If he says no, we'll go away from here. If he
Joy 99.7 FM. So these are just excerpts of some of the films that you may have watched. Yeah, Ghanaian films I'm talking about. And today, as we celebrate Ghana Month, we look at some of the cultural elements of our society, things that define us as a people, and film, or for that matter, movies, are part of these. Now, through movies, we know that Americans have been able to use Hollywood to communicate to the world how powerful and beautiful their country is, how great they are. You talk about Bollywood, Nollywood, and other film industries the world over, and we've seen how they've been able to market their countries through film. Today, we assess the power movies have on our lives and how well we can use them to our advantage. And I have in the studio Uncle Ken, who is a veteran broadcaster here at the multimedia group Joy 99.7 FM. Also right here in the studio is Uncle Abe Kusego. He's a film producer, director, writer, and actor. And I have actor Atogati as well here with us. Tony Asankuma is a film critic. He runs a blog. I think it's the only film blog I've seen so far in Ghana. Most of us are leaned towards music and the other things you see. But he has been dedicated to just film reporting. critiquing films, doing reviews, in-depth reviews and all that. Tony has been doing this for the past years, and he's here with us. A great writer and a film critic as well. Later on, we'll be joined on phone by King Ampao. Yes, and then Miki Osebeko alongside Ejako. I'm still asking you, your favorite film, Ghanaian film ever. 055-1111-997. Now let me welcome my guests again to this part of the conversation. Big man, welcome once again.
Thank you.
All right, so let me start with you, Uncle Abe. So looking at the other film industries the world over and how they've been able to use film to market their countries, and you compare that to Ghana, how would you say we have fared in that regard? How would you rate us?
Well, in the other countries, as we talk about, they have seen not only film, but the creative industry as part of the system. That it's part of the national structure, the national system, the national development agenda.
Yeah.
They don't do their budget before somebody says, give us something before they start thinking about it. When they plan the national development agenda, the industry is part of it. We haven't done that.
Okay.
Here it's been touch and go. Kwame Nkrumah. Every time we go back to Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah is the only one who put the film and the creative industry in the center or in the middle.
Sponsored filmmakers to go study musicians and all that. He had an objective for the industry. Since then, it's been people trying to do their best up till now. Even though we have a national film authority, and efforts are being made to crank it into motion. Yeah.
But we haven't really established it as part of our developmental agenda. So all of us, those of us in it, we're doing individual things. You cannot walk to a bank with the best of proposals for a film project and expect it to be accepted. It's not. We haven't gone in there. If you must see other friends, family, and money lenders.
Yeah.
To raise your funds to produce a film. We haven't gone there. We haven't gotten there yet.
Wow. Joe 99.7 FM. But do you think we have told our stories well enough, as in we telling stories that will appeal to people from outside? Have we done that well enough?
We used to do it. I mean, there were times the Kwansas, Kinampao, and even within the West African enclave, even when we started the video thing, which was technically not qualitative, I think we were the pioneers, and therefore we were accepted. And we told some stories that looked interesting and all that. But I've always said that we took advantage of our audience.
Okay.
Yeah, we took them for granted.
How
we took them for granted. In that when they were enjoying what we were doing, even with basic equipment, we should also have told ourselves that we need to raise our acts technically, capacity and all, academically and all that, in order to stay ahead of the batch. But because they were by, we left. I remember very well that in a meeting with some producers, I told them that, hey guys, now we better raise our thing, otherwise our people will leave us. One of them remarked that, well, market. So I asked, what market are you talking about? Is it KJT and Katambato? Markets that make you so happy that you can say that we are okay. And the Nigerians came studying from us. When I did my first film, Nemesis.
Okay.
We shot at Kokrobite.
Wow. Which year was this?
This was 94, 95.
Wow.
There were two Nigerians, Zakobi, Zakoji or
Oji.
Zakoji.
And another guy, I've tried to remember, I can't, but as for Zach, I remember him well because we related very well later. Every morning, by the time we got to Kokrobiti, they were there. Because those days we used to gather, board a bus, and then go to the location. By the time we got there around 9 o'clock, Zach and his friend were sitting down waiting for us.
Wow.
You know, when the Nigerian film started coming in, we heard the noise, and they couldn't control generators and all that. You know, at that time we had mastered our sound to some extent. Even the if you like the untrained producers had even mastered their sound. Nigerian, you could hear the generator on it, but they took it seriously.
Wow.
They took it seriously. Their governments came in at a point. You know, the Nigerian government played a trick on the banks. Think about Dero Obasanjo's time. They promised to pump some $230 million into the film industry.
Yeah.
You get it? Then the Nigerian banks came and started giving the people the loan because they expected that at least government was going to give them the backup. And they came in, gave the loans. They also did, the producers also took it seriously, as I've already said. They got the best actors. They got, the Sean and all those doctors have vanished from the Nigerian films. You know, so they picked the best. And now, honestly, every morning when I'm listening to BBC, and it gets to film review, and they come to Africa and it's Nollywood, I say, oh my God.
Wow.
You know, so they took it seriously. I mean, they took it
So
seriously.
it's not only about the stories that we tell,
didn't.
but how.
And for the stories, there are many stories
Yeah.
that we haven't told.
Okay.
Yes, as I said earlier on, I discovered the woman's instinct story at a seminar.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Yes, at a seminar.
Wow.
But later, a friend of mine who was at the seminar with me at the time, Neo Okwehamman, I'm sure Ken will remember him. He's now in Holland. So he's discovered some material on Adwe Misa. That's the woman's name.
Okay.
He discovered some material on Adwe Misa in a library in Holland.
Wow.
And sent them to me.
Wow.
You know, and sent them to me. So there are many stories that we haven't tackled. But those are also stories that a producer would tell if he can have the backing of the establishment. Because some of those stories don't make money.
They don't.
Some of them. You make money. I mean, Black Panther has made money. A Woman's Skin has made money.
Yeah.
So those are the stories that we should be picking and producing. And like I said, some may not make money, but if you have the backing of the establishment, then we tell the story. Those are the ones that project our country.
Great.
You know, that project our country. The docudramas and genres like that.
Yeah.
Those that are the ones that you use to project your country. First Blood. First Blood, when Sylvester Stallone went around production house to production house, he did not know anything about script writing.
Okay.
So he had just scribbled the story anyhow. So and then the US too, they will look at your script, even the format of the script, before they read it.
Before.
Yes. So he had taken it from one end to the other. Nobody was minding him until somebody connected him to an arm of government.
So it means that the type of film that you want to even produce will determine whether you have support or not, or will determine the type of support you get.
It does play some role.
Wow.
It does play some role.
Wow.
But sometimes, like I mentioned, First Blood, eventually when it was made, became a hit.
Exactly.
Yes. Eventually when it was made, became a hit. Because America at that time, the spirit of America had gone down with the Iranian crisis and all those things. So they needed something to bolster their image and bring their spirits up. Jimmy Carter was failing. So First Blood came to save the image of America. You know, when one man went to Russia and then destroyed the Russian army.
I like where you're going with that, you know, using film to tell a story, to create an impression in the minds of people about who we are. Have we done that? Have we been able to do that as Ghanaians?
We haven't done that. Only
can we do that?
We can. Only 2 weeks or so, I told at a meeting, I told them that, you see, one area that we have comparative advantage over any other country is our culture.
Okay.
Of course, film is a format to project your culture. Yes.
Exactly.
And the one area that we have the comparative advantage that when we use, nobody can compete with us. We cannot compete with Japan on production of TVs and cars and V8s and all those.
Maybe many years to come.
Yes. But as we're waiting for that time, we still cannot go to bed. We need to compete. We need to find a space where we can compete effectively within, I always remember a film I watched when I was in primary school, an Indian film. Some armed robbers went to a shop to rob a shop. And they went in a Mercedes-Benz car. In those days, 220. They went to rob the
220
Super. They went to rob the 220 Super. And then the police was called. The police came with Tata pickup.
Okay.
The armed robbers took off. Many hours before the police arrived. They came and took their time to do the basic investigations and all that. And then they jumped into the Tata to chase the armed robbers who were in the 220. They caught up with that. At the point, the Mercedes-Benz caught fire. Caught fire, and the Tata overtook it. They were projecting Tata and nothing else.
Wow.
They were projecting Tata. So these are some of the things that others have used their films to do for their country and for their people. Okay. They say Americans are confident. It's all because when you watch an American film, it's confident people.
Yeah. That's what you see.
You see. So we haven't done that at all.
Okay.
We haven't done that at all. We haven't started at all.
Okay. Tony Asankuma, as a film critic, do you think that we made strides in that regard?
In that regard,
as we using our films to shape opinions about us?
I think there's a lot more we are supposed to do. There's actually, I would say, there's a huge deficit in what we are supposed to do in terms of using our film to shape the identity or even shape the mindsets of Ghanaians. I say this all the time, that art in itself can be used as a tool for cultural imposition.
Okay.
And these things are intentional. They are not left to chance. You don't. There's a reason why. There's dance in almost every Bollywood film. There's a reason why there's music in almost every Bollywood film, because they are being intentional. They want to. If they can be telling the most outlandish story, they could be telling something that has got nothing to do with dance. Before you realize, there's some music and there are people dancing.
They're using one stone to kill many
exactly.
birds.
So they've done this intentionally over years to a point where anywhere in the world, if you see an Indian, you are able to identify that that's an Indian. You are able to identify certain aspects of their culture whilst you've never even visited the country before. And it's intentional. It's conscious. So I believe that there's a lot more that we can also do using our films in particular to shape the mindsets of not just our people, but to sort of create an identity that people would begin to know that this way of life, this is Ghanaian. A lot has been said about exactly what is Ghanaian culture, because we have too many.
Yeah.
We have so many tribes, and even within ourselves, we can't seem to agree on who should take the lead. Or so it's always a challenge to really identify what is Ghanaian culture. But I believe that it's the little things. There are so many nuances that are Ghanaian. If you are anywhere in the world and you see a Ghanaian, they might just be walking a certain way and you realize, there are so many things, simple things, that those nuances that can be identified as Ghanaian, and we need to tap into all of these things whilst we are making our films. I've always maintained that one of our biggest challenge is not for our industry, is not just financing. It's the quality of storytelling.
Okay.
Because again, I believe there's a deficit in that space. Most of our producers, well, let me not say most, that would be too harsh.
Okay.
Some of our producers, even if you give them $1 million, they might disappoint you, because the film business is, look, you don't have you don't have a film if you don't have a story to tell. That's where it starts from. Every film has a story, and in most cases, it's the story that carries the film. Even as a critic, I can watch a film and be disappointed with sound, can be disappointed with camera angles or even the editing style, but the story that is being told in the film might save the film for me. And I've felt that over years, we seem to have a deficit in that regard, particularly for our Ghanaian creators, because we are not able to exactly convey the right stories that need to be told. We are not able to capture our audience with our storytelling. We are not able to make people lose there's what we call the suspension of disbelief. That you could watch a Ghanaian film and you're like, this does not happen in Ghana. You could watch a film and be like, no, this is not a Ghanaian way of life. But all these things, in many ways, add to the storytelling and add value to it, and it becomes like you said, even with the story about the Tata and I mean, you can see that there's some level of intentionality behind it. It was consciously done. I mean, in what world would an average person think that a Tata is superior to a mess? You know, in what world? But because they did that in a film, it will change the perception of people for that brand. And usually all these efforts start with your own people, because once you are able to win your people over, get them to understand that these are ways of lives of Ghanaians, these are things that we can identify as Ghanaians, it goes a long way to also help and push the conversation. Because now it's easier for me to recommend a film if I'm speaking to maybe a second or third generation Ghanaian, right? And they tell me, Tony, I would like you to suggest a film that I watch, and then I'll learn a thing or two about Ghana even before I come to Ghana.
Yeah.
What am I going to suggest? You understand? But if we are
you saying you not get any?
I mean, I can think of one or two, right? If I delve deeper into it, but it would still might not be enough. You get it? Because again, back to the point, all these things are intentional, and I believe that a lot more can be done for us to be able to achieve and get to that point where our storytelling means more than just entertaining people.
Great. Joy 99.7 FM. Some of you have been sending in your favorites Ghanaian films of all time. Yeah, we'll be reading them out in a moment, but you can send yours in as well. 05511119997. We're talking about how to use Ghanaian movies to shape us, our thinking, our ideas as a people. That is what we're talking about today. I have in the studio Uncle Ken. He is a broadcaster here at Joy FM. We have Beku Sego, who is a film producer, film director, writer, and actor. Tugate is here with us as well. And Tony Asankuma, film critic, will be joined later on phone by King Ampao, Miki Osebeko, and Eja. Cool. Now let me come to you, Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken, Tony has been talking about storyline. You're somebody who has worked with a cinematography board of exhibition before in the past. You know, during those days when you watched all our movies during that period, did you see great storylines?
If you qualify it as great, then I might have issues.
Okay.
But both Tony and Abeku have made very, very essential points. Abeku told you that the Ghanaian movie industry was such that the producers put out movies that the audience accepted and forgot about raising standards. And that's what I realized at the board, when I was on the board.
Wow.
You realize that Ghanaians loved films that made them laugh. They couldn't care less about the production details of the movie. And so long as the film made them distress, laugh, and enjoy, they couldn't care less whether one scene was on screen for more than 15 minutes, where you just saw a single shot. They don't even do cutaways. A wide shot of a movie of 3 or 4 people throwing words at each other and making them laugh. And they felt that was enough. And the producers also, because I think one of you said, so long as I'm making money, why should I bother? That is what I realized while I was on the board with our movie making. And then Tony talks about intentionality. Look, Americans, like he said, when they are making films, they are intentional. Look, unfortunately for us in this country, people do not watch credits.
Just the film, and they are done.
Immediately the film ends.
Japan.
They're all walking out. Some of us will stay. Yeah, some of us will stay and watch the credits. Know who did what. But Ghanaians, most Ghanaian film watchers don't bother about credits. The Americans will insert all the songs that they want in the movies, like Tony was saying, you know, make it intentional for you to say, this song. This, you watch American movies. How many times have you watched a Ghanaian movie and somebody's talking about the soundtrack of the movie in this country? But Americans are so intentional. You watch An Officer and a Gentleman, there's a soundtrack that comes out of it, and it's a hit. You watch whatever, The Color Purple, there's a soundtrack that comes out of it, it's a hit. And so they make sure that all other segments of the industry play a role in that production. But we don't do that. We have stories that we can. I mean, there are a few stories I watched. While I was on the board. Portraying the Ghanaian traditions and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the producers of those movies will tell you that those films did not fetch them as much money as those others who were all about 4 people standing in a shot insulting each other and making people laugh.
Uncle Ken, are we saying that we can't tell stories that truly reflect who we are?
We can.
And make money out of that?
We can. Look, growing up, I watched a film that's supposed to be a comedy. I Told You So.
Yes.
By Bob Cole. Bob Cole. And I know Bob Cole and stuff like that. But these films were shot on celluloid at the time. And you see, unfortunately, with celluloid, you did not have time to produce crap.
Don't waste your film.
It's because it will be waste of film. On celluloid, you had to produce quality. You understand? So Bob Cole's I Told You So, compared to comedies that came up during the advent of video productions and stuff like that, I Told You So was way up there. There are stories that we can tell of the country, you know, but the fact is, where do the people get the funds to tell these stories? I was very happy with the film Act 935.
Yes.
When 935 was passed, there was a segment in the Act that talked about people being able to access monies for production.
Exactly.
Because there was going to be a film fund. Now that film fund, there was a criteria for which you would be able to access the fund. Now, part of that criteria was that the film had to project the country.
Exactly.
Do you understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? The film had to project the country. Unfortunately, that fund has not been set up.
I hear they're still waiting for the LI to be given
this
assent.
LI matter that they
Yeah.
always use
We were promised that
as an
hopefully
excuse.
this year it will be established. So we're
Look,
waiting.
The film fund.
Uncle
You
Ken.
see, let me just the film fund, the LI.
Yeah.
It's the act, for instance. The act, it took about more than 20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
It took over
We
20
started
years.
talking about that act
You
back
know,
in the early 90s.
90s.
While I was
joined
on
the
the
team-
board.
When I
joined
was
the
in
team-
primary school.
I joined the team in 1994.
Kwame, you were in primary school.
90s.
In the 90s. That's when we started
I joined the
work
Film Act
on
team
that
in
act.
1994.
Oh, wow.
It was in 2016.
I was in class 4.
2016.
It was passed in 2015.
2016 when Mahama
Took
was.
so long.
2015.
Took
it
so
was
long.
passed. Or 2016.
2016.
2016. The
You know,
last
The
days,
last days of Mahama.
yeah,
You know.
that the film act was passed.
And some of they can be done. Because when they were going and Elizabeth Ofusojare wanted to pass it before leaving,
Yeah.
within a short time, we had finished.
Yeah.
And you passed. It was passed.
It was passed.
But it has not.
LI too has taken.
Look,
Well, we're
8
just
years.
hoping that the LI.
Kwame.
Maybe
It's
in
given
November
a
we'll
sense,
start
yeah.
working
See
on
this
it.
LI business. I spoke with a lawyer about this LI business.
Yeah.
That people use.
As the excuse.
And he told me
Okay.
that there are aspects of an act that needs an LI
Yes.
Okay.
to effect.
All right.
But an act, once it is passed,
Becomes law.
can also stand on its own and you use, for instance, in setting up a film fund,
Yeah.
it stated clearly who was supposed to donate or how monies were supposed to be able to be gathered for the fund
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Ask yourself, which aspects of the Film Act does not need an LI to effect? But when we are speaking, everybody comes up and says, oh, we are waiting for an LI.
That's
So
what
it
we've been
covers
told.
all aspects of the Act when there are aspects that do not need
The
an
LI.
LI.
But do we know for
For you
sure
to
if this particular aspect does not need an
Which
LI?
aspect?
Without
the fund, the
LI,
film fund,
without
the film
LI, we
development
have
fund.
established the National Film Authority.
Exactly. I mean, there's a board.
There's a board.
The board has been established. Did you
Yes,
need
yes.
an LI
We
to
didn't-
establish
we
it?
didn't-
No.
We don't have an LI, but we have established that.
It's an authority, oh. It's an authority. And the lawyer told me that authorities can make their own laws as well.
Wow.
That's why they are known as authorities. Okay?
Yeah.
Once you're not an agency, oh. An agency might not be able to make its own
No,
laws.
yes.
An agency will rely on laws passed by parliament to work.
to run.
But an authority on its own can come up with their own laws and guidelines to work.
Okay.
So I ask myself, if somebody, a production company like Tony knows or
Atogati.
Atu knows of a production company, or Atu has a production company, and they have a concept that they want to put out to project this country. Ask yourself, how is Atu going to be able to get funding for this? Because like he has already said, the banks, forget the banks. Why will you forget the banks? You'd forget the banks because as far as the banks are concerned, they are interested in me mouse car, me person me who returns.
Exactly.
6 months.
Quickly
Return
as
on investment.
possible. As quickly as possible.
With interest.
With
Exactly.
interest. So the banks will not look that way. So the only way the filmmaker can be sure of getting funds for his money is through initiatives like the Film Fund and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But who qualifies for it?
Who qualifies?
And who is going to determine who should be able to get? So you see, when we have these laws, we make the laws, but we do not think about how those laws can be effected. Yet, there's been no fund in the how many years that this act has been in existence?
Since 2016?
Yes.
Since 2016. There's been no fund. There's been no fund, Kwame. So who's going
but
to
the authority
do a
is
film?
operating in any ways.
Who's going to do a film to project the country with his own funds that we, the citizens ourselves, will not even enjoy. Do you understand what I'm saying? We, the citizens ourselves, will not enjoy that film because, culture.
I remember Peter Sedufia said something like that.
Yes.
He wouldn't waste quote unquote resources on, let's say, a classy kind of film.
It's not just Peter. It's when you speak to a lot of the producers, they will tell you that first they'll tell you that they are not the ones to educate your child through their film. They will tell you that they are not the ones to champion national agendas through their films.
Thank you.
Because it's their money. They know where they want to get the money from.
Yes.
Yeah.
They know what timelines they have to return that money. So they would essentially go for the easy route, which is making a commercially viable film that can sell, that can have, let's say, 4,000 people go to the cinema on opening night and make their money and go.
It comes back to Ken's point.
Kwame, you see, you remember that film? I have to speak about, and I have to mention names because I do not speak.
Yeah. Cite examples. Cite examples.
Let me cite an example.
Yeah.
When Chewa came
out,
what was Chewa about?
It was about
Abefo.
Yes, Abeisem in our society. Now, do you know how many
I think we had 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was turned out.
Yeah.
Why? Because Chewa was popular.
Yes.
The people wanted to see those things.
Yeah.
They could identify with those things, the supernatural, the superstition that's been in our society. And that's why Chewa was so popular. Chewa part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. All along the way. So who was now going to do something about Ghana to rival Chewa?
So here's my problem. Like, since you are talking about Chewa, for instance, I feel like even with the kind of film that Chewa is, a lot more can be done intentionally,
right,
to make it leave certain traces of what we would all want to agree are positives about what is Ghanaian, what is supposed to be our culture, what is supposed to be the model way to go as Ghanaians. Because even again, let's digress and go to Hollywood. Even some of their most outlandish films that are about the worst subject matters that you can think of, they would have a line or a scene or probably even a character that is supposed to draw your mind back to the ideals of America.
Right.
So I feel like with Chewa, that is where probably we missed
intentionality again comes in here.
Right.
Because we let's not forget about the entertaining factor of film, right? Let's not rule that out. People will not be interested in film if it's not going to entertain them. At the end of the day, I mean, we are all going through a lot. you would want to have some downtime, and then distress.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
But we should be able to add something to it that subtly, you know, by the end of the day, you've watched Chewa, you've learned this, and then you remember, okay, this is what this was supposed to imply, or this is what this is the takeaway. But we always miss that
Please
point.
wrap up so that I come to Atu quickly, then we go on the phone lines and speak to some of our guests. Yeah.
You know, I still believe we can do much better.
Yes, I believe so too.
And the funding aspect of it has to be really, really, really thought of. But again, if you're going to fund an individual's film project with state money, I always ask myself, hey, state money to be given out to an individual for their film.
Yes.
Does the state want benefits out of it, or the state is only giving it out for that person to use? Because you see, recently, COVID period, the government came out giving monies out, left, right, and center.
The Cup Bus Fund, yeah.
Yeah, to people. And the intention was this was supposed to be monies to help people
to alleviate
in their production, even though times were hard.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, how many people used those monies for films? Those monies were used half the time for sustenance.
Yeah, because the point was also, I made the point that if we're going to use state money to shoot films or to for programs, the money should be enough.
And not peanuts.
Not peanuts. Yes, if I want to, if I apply for money for a film,
yeah,
and you give me 5,000 cedis,
yeah, what would I use 5,000?
You know, some got 2,000.
Yes.
2,000 cedis.
2,000 cedis.
You see?
So then,
one week, what do you
want? Obviously, this was the time they were not working.
And they were not working. So what was the point in giving those money?
Chop money.
For money. Chop money.
What was the point?
Let me come to you, Atugate. So in all this, what should we do? What should we do to make sure that at least when we are doing our movies, we can have the same impacts or similar impact as we've seen Hollywood movies and other films from other industries the world over?
Well, I believe this thing can be done. One thing, I mean, the Ghanaian movie was doing so well until this series thing came into the picture.
The series?
Yeah, that's what I'm going. Because it got to a point in time, in Accra, for instance, when you pitch camp with those in the Ashanti region, all they will tell you is that yeah films and Nankran form a series. Oh yeah. They will never engage in series, and then of course they will not even put them. Whatever all they will do is to put their monies in the chewa because there's a ready-made market, and the people are calling for it. They are calling for that kind of thing. So why would I even waste my time to go and then produce series and then forget about the film? Yeah. And because of that, it affected the market here in Accra. We have wonderful producers who are producing films on a regular basis until they realize that look, market it doesn't go. So what do I need to do? Let me rather put 18, maybe 13, 26, 48 episodes something and run it in a series form.
When did that start, Sonny?
Oh, it's
Ato. When did the series thing start?
Oh, I could say that just a decade ago. It wasn't something, let me go about the Acapulco base and all of that and this and that. And
oh,
that.
You mean the foreign?
The foreign.
Oh, you're talking about the foreign ones. Oh,
so immediately it came into the picture.
Okay.
The telenovelas. I just want to use the series.
That is what we understand.
Yeah.
Now I get your point. I thought you meant that the Ghanaian film
immediately the switch was there. And I also believe that just infusing our culture, that intentionality thing that you are talking about. Excuse me to say, but that is the truth. Our writers, I won't say most like my brother said, but some of the writers and producers, we are not actually learning or pushing enough. It has become very individualistic. What I stand to gain immediately than what the nation stands to gain, or an individual who's at home, who doesn't even know our culture, will stand to gain. As we speak, David Donto speaks so passionately about the fact that for all these years, we don't even have a film on Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
We don't have a film on Kwame Nkrumah. No, let's put our statesmen. It took Uganda to tell one story about Kwame Nkrumah. And meanwhile, look at, and it is the same South African. They tell the story about Mandela. We can pick a state icon, put it together, well packaged, and our story and our culture will go out there. You get certain films, and then there are certain beads, there are certain kind of dress that you like. This is not Ghanaian. This is, I don't want to mention other countries, but you clearly will say that Ghana, Enfa, in a Yusubi.
Somebody will say acculturation is allowed. We are borrowing cultures, small things from other people, so it's allowed.
It's allowed, but then you've forgotten and neglect of yours. You can't tell your own story. We can be told easily.
Ato, I'm not cutting you. Let me go on the phone lines and speak to Ejako. He has other assignments, so let me speak to him now. Eja, Mahao. I'm a patron Pombo Cordier. Yɛda wase pass and wagye peni sɛ ɔne yɛbɛkasa ɛwɔ kasa fidie so Joy FM etiefo nyinaa ayɛ aso a ɔmba betio na ɛnɛ de yɛfrɛ wa ɛnyɛ bɔne ɛnɛ yɛhwɛ ɛyɛ yɛseniye adwuma yi a ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana mu yi na Ghana sene ne titiriw no yɛhwɛ sɛ anyambia yɛtumi de sene a yɛtwa ɛwɔ man mu no yɛtumi de aboa ɔmanfoɔ no ɔmo suban ɔmo ne yɛ ɛne ne ɔmo yɛ nyinaa ne afoforo ɔmo wɔ amanɔne nso so no yɛtumi de saa sene a yɛyɛ yi akyerɛ Ghana ne yɛwɔ titiriw ɛwɔ man yi mu ana ɛne na yɛsɛ yɛnɛ yɛfrɛ na yɛadwe wadwenkyerɛ afi wei ho na wodwen ho sɛn
yo mini awede na da wase match with you for na any animal no mo ye program na o kan say ya mini side here leka se ani kire ni ayeye ni pe wa amonone se be Ghana po a ekudi e pa na nsanya me sha ase sini no kwa me masin ni papa obi timi frem kwa ni odidi matem obi frem ni osu ya ma me no mo a se bi sini ana no mo hwe de di o mani di o mo kan se usini ne yedi se ye mai kasa wo abruchire ha ampa so enya kwanya ko chinchine US no bebre so ba kan se bebre so udru wa di obi e ka tira wono no bi biala me ko UK ni ade o to kasa wo ye obi ye sini no then you kasa ho tie na ugu be na o chen en na ye de ti ye mai wa ha
ampa
o mo kan sa na mani ache na mi ni se bi anya menko e bi so abi ni ana ye jime na obi ko so ba show o mo so agate dadi ya uyi pete me be yes ana se pete me ban sia kasa ifri ho ye kan brofo ye kan ya nkata ye dia ye sia ye yi eti o kan sa me dia me kate aboa na me dia aboa ni pa besiri ni mo obi a sabe mi o kwa kodi no bone mi sininti o jai eti o hwe mi na ye best friend me kaya Roman father wo ye presenter wo ye Lumba FM
ane
on the die ni mo ba say na bi sa say dia de na menye no atam na deck no o say o dia for deck bi bi ma me na men tan hwe sini no go na we no for no bi dem bebre minimo bia sabe watna dem mo ben fie so on kasa o ti akonyo mo e di ya bomba ya ye ni me bebre on kasa abrechimamo ọmọ de na betia ho o hwe de sini da ba bi esere no o fo so asere se ọmọ bua me so me bua nipa ne o fo so sere no na dufa bi efiri na lu mu ka to fo ne kasa mu anu no ọmọ ye de friend sa minimum bi a Holland younger na se no ti temasem na ka bono na wata honom na otu be mi nu ase ebo na otu mi nu fa na on kasa na obo piti sorry on paso abedi no obo me hu eje go eno so omo friend Holland ewo ho oh enti etini no da nipa me pe wasemo a de wuye bia no ebenye no spirit so aso e wo ye papa ana se yo ase no e ho tia ebenye so aso so bia wo ya no so sabio eye road ntino obi sitimi ka se akwa ide di tirimo ade ka ba bi obehia wo no na won tisa na oto pra
wow
ni aduma ne de ye de aboa bebre e didi e bi so a boa
eja mo ya de se ne wa kan se siniye no enya sunsuanso papa e won krofo bebre so na asem ba ko an krofo bi nso aka ne se enkamia ye se ye sini no mu bi no nso no se ye ka ya mamre ne ya mane ho nsem a aye se ya na etoda na atendi na doso dodo na eno nso kan wasem sen
ele die me kan se enye ye cha aka ye wo man mu ebinom so aseɛ yɛ sini asa bɛgyina yɛpepa yɛ adagya so dodoɔ no a ɛhyɛ aseɛ saa berɛ megyina so medin wɔ so hyia mpanimfoɔ bi ne ɔm kasa sɛ yɛwura tumfoɔ ɔdɛdidi nante kɔtɔkɔhene wakyia ne nan so sɛ sini no ɔhwɛ bi ne sini a ɔpɛ paa ne obi di aba na ɔhwɛ sini no sɛde awerɛhoɔ sɛm wɔ mu enti obɛtumi aka kyerɛ me na me ne me nkurɔfoɔ nkasa ayɛ a yɛnkata adagya no so kakra because nkwalaa ɛhwɛ bi sɛbe president kufuo mu nyinaa na ɔmohwɛ bi mpanimfoɔ lɔyɛ judges ɛhwɛ bi ɛberɛ a menya adagye ne mpanimfoɔ no de kataeɛ sɛ mowɔ Ghana ha mote ɛyɛ nsɔfa yɛde bɛ sɛbe yɛbɛkaa me ho sɛ bebree bɛkaa me dendendendenden ɛti sɛ mokaeɛ a megyina mu yɛ demonstration against pornography movie ɛwɔ Ghana ha sɛ Ghana wɔn a ɛsi station wɔn bi bɛkae saa berɛ no a
no correct
megyina mu yɛ ɛsi sɛ na mempɛ sɛ ɛbɛba akɔyɛ sɛ yɛkɔtam baabifoɔ ɛdeɛ na aba indiafoɔ a ne yɛhwɛ wɔn ti ni wɔfa ɔbaa no a asɔ wɔfe n'ano a ne aka titu another scene asɔ ɔkɔda no so a ne aka titu another scene sɛbi yɛyɛ mpanimfoɔ yɛyɛ sini no yɛnim anibɔ yɛnim deɛ ɔmo fa akyerɛ na wosi sɛ nnipa no nworɔ ne ho nyinaa ne n'adagya nyinaa a akwadaa no ɔte hɔ no ɔrekyerɛ ne dɛ ɛba saa a ɛmmoa eti ebi gyina mu yɛ ebinom te mate ebinom nso ante mate na ekutu a yɛrekɔ no deɛ mɛtumi mefa mu deɛ mɛtumi ayɛ aboa ɔman no bi ameyɛ nim bi nuanom bi nso bɛte aseɛ berɛberɛ kɔ n'anim no yɛn nyinaa yɛnka mmɔ ɛma baako na adwuma no soso no yɛmfa nyina baabi a ewiase nyinaa bɛte yɛka ɛme yɛnkasa bi a ebi mu ka dɔfo ebi ka kyiisi no yɛntumi nyɛ ma ne yɛ bi wɔ Nigeria ma mu a Yoruba kasa ɛno na agye nhini paa wɔ ɛwɔ mu ti ne yɛ mu enti yɛbɛyɛ na ha biara no yɛnyɛ deɛ bɛboa nkirima fada ɛba no sɛ obi susu anya anigyeɛ ama sɛ silent no akyɛdeɛ no wɔ ne mu a ne mpanimfoɔ ama no kwan ama no aba abɛɛ
Eja yɛbɛda wase megye sɛ wowɔ dwumadie foforɔ bi a wakɔdi so ntini yɛda wase paa sɛ wagye penie na wɔne yɛ akasa ɛwɔ dwumadie so yɛda wase tonyom Eja yɛda wase bebree John 99.7 FM just had a Jacko on phone, and so he was talking about how impactful Ghanaian movies have been to people, and basically he was talking about those movies done in the local languages. And according to him, some of the people abroad, those Ghanaians who live outside the country, use their movies to teach their children how to speak our local languages. He spoke about how people who were in very difficult situations got relief just by watching his movies. And I asked him about the insults. Some people have complained about how some of these movies are full of insults. You know, you watch them and then you see people just insulting each other. And according to him, that is something that he wouldn't support, even citing a point in time where he staged a demonstration against people who used nude or maybe half naked scenes in their movies. He is one person who has actually been projecting Ghanaian movies when we talk about the local language movies or the Akan language movies, and he is a very, very great personality in that regard. A Jacko there. Please, you can still keep sending your thoughts in here. Your best ever Ghanaian movie, you can send 05511119997. I have some of your responses here. This one says, my best Ghanaian movie of all times is Deadly Voyage. Yeah, great one there. My name is Alao Rafiu, a tutor at Al Seed Academy. Thanks so much for your message. This one, Ike the Chancellor from Domsburg. Where is that? Is it Domi? Okay. Says, good afternoon, Kwame. My favorite Ghanaian movie of all time is Call at the Midnight. It's an old movie, and I wish I could find a site to download and watch it all over again. Kwame Dadzie, my favorite Ghanaian movie is Sika Sunsum. It's from Abokoma Wendy of Tema. Kwame, please, I want to know, where is this actress? Sheila Norte. Abe, Uncle Abe. Sheila Norte in Yimbabiowa.
Oko US.
Oko US, okay. Sheila Norte, it's been a long time since we saw her in our movies. Even today, Nigerian films on DSTV have sound problems, either too loud or no sound at all. BB from DC. Botili says, The Bitter Widow. Okay, this one says, good afternoon, great discussion. So how do we get access to some of the old movies like Genesis X, The Road to Kukwentumi, etc.? Occasionally, GTV may show a few prior to independence. In the US, there is a channel that shows only old movies. Maybe GTV could consider that for posterity. Thanks, Elsie. Thanks so much for your responses here. You can send in more 055-1111-997. Your favorite Ghanaian movie of all time. And you just heard Jacko speak. I've been talking to Abeku Sego, film producer, director, actor, writer. Uncle Ken is a broadcaster. He was part of the cinematography board of exhibition way back. I think that's what's transformed into the classification committee, right? Okay. Yes. And I have.
Yes, but again, without even the LI, the classification.
Yeah. You don't need an LI to make classification work. This is the point I was trying to make.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Tony Asankuma is a film critic. I have a Tugati actor also here in the studio. We'll be speaking to other people on phone, King Ampao and Mickey Osebeko. In the meantime, though, let's take a breather. When we come back, we have more to tell you.
Tony, Ato was on.
Yes, I'll come back to him briefly. I'll come back to him briefly. Joe 99.7.
Yeah, Altonan. You ready to party? Yeah! You ready to party? It's summer time. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Radom Zo, Joe 99.7 FM. And I trust you join this edition of Showbiz A to Z here on your superstation. My name is Kwame Dadzie. Show brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Superstar multi-fruit drink. This show is produced by Philip Nye, assisted by Anita Tay. We have Chris PK on social media. Today, we are focusing on our film industry and looking at how we can use movies to shape the Ghanaian society, our mentality, how to project the Ghanaian society to the world in a good light through movies. That's what we're talking about today. Now, let me tell you that it's a new world of doing business, and your business shouldn't be left out. It's time to get a Momo for business today to accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate on your Ghana card. So applying to be MTN Momo merchants has been made easy and simple and also fast. So you just have to dial *5051 hash and follow the prompts or apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh and you'll receive a reference number which you can use to track your application. So don't get caught waiting. Yes, enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. That is what you need to do. And then note that the application is free, so do not pay any money to anyone for a Momo merchant payments solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app available on Play Store and App Store. Now embark on an extraordinary journey as children dive into 21 days of reading during the qualification stage of the Inter-School Reading Quiz. Our Pebby Cops team will be visiting 15 schools, capturing the inspiring moments as young readers gear up for the ultimate challenge. So don't miss out on this excitement. Tune in to Joy Prime Daily from now to 17th March at 4:30 p.m. to witness their dedication. Parents and schools, you are still invited to register at pebbycops.com/quiz. For more enquiries, please call 053-520-7920. Inter-School Reading Quiz, igniting a vibrant culture of reading. Let's create a wave of thousands of children immersed in reading. Now, what if I told you that 10 Ghana cedis can get you free concert tickets and shopping vouchers worth up to 500 Ghana cedis to shop at Melcom or get some buckets of juicy chicken at KFC? Here's what to do. Stake 10 Ghana cedis or more at the Game Park Game Pick 1 or Pick 4 lottery to be entered into a weekly Saturday raffle for a chance to win in the Mueller promo. Regardless of the outcome of your stake, you can still win a voucher for yourself. Vouchers are limited, so play more to increase your chances. And remember to watch the Saturday promo draw on Adobe TV at 6 p.m. Just dial *946 hash or visit www.gameparkgames.com to play now. Terms and conditions apply. Game Park Games, more Mueller, more power. Now there is this new concept called New Wine. Not what you're thinking about. This is a Holy Ghost wine. So MOG Music presents New Wine. Is a concert to commemorate a decade of God's goodness. Happening Sunday, 17th March 2024 at the Oil Dome, Royal House, Chapel International, Bishop Lamte Interchange, ministering Elder Miracle. Da 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 do 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 do, yeah. Then we have Nkotozo Mbabo, Nasi, Perez Music, Kobe Mante, Sisi Bedu. Tickets are available at Tema Community 8 and 11 Shell, Airport Shell, Bachona Total, and Royal House Chapel, Ahinfie. Also, tickets are available at Community 8 Shell. Yeah. And the rate single 50 Ghana cedis, double 80 Ghana cedis, VIP 200 Ghana cedis. Also online experience is just $10. You can convert that to cedis, yeah? or simply dial *389 *777 hash to purchase your tickets. Hotline is 020-500-565. And this event is sponsored by PMMC Total Family Health Organization, Africa World Airlines, Tank Palace, E-Transact Mist Mineral Water, New Line Extra, Knowledge Tree International, Pitch Pedal, Simple Colors, and DDP. Not forgetting Joy 99.7. And the event is powered by MOG Music, supported by Joy 99.7 FM. But after all these, you can't miss out on one thing. You can't miss out on the Eastern Camp adventure. Yeah, adventure. We are going to the Eastern region, to the mountains. Of course, we have conquered Ghana with you. We did that with you, yeah. Escaped with you to the Western region, gone to the Savannah Safari together. And yeah, remember the Afajato conquest, the kayaking on the Volta Lake, and all the many other adventures and fun trips that we had together. Do you remember? Now, those were the very educative, fun, and memorable discoveries of Ghana that we made together. This time around, we're going higher. We are going higher. We're making new discoveries, creating new experiences, and reliving the nightlife back in the day with the Eastern Camp adventure. Today, I'm being adventurous with adventure. This time, we will pitch camp somewhere serene on top of the Bree Mountain. Very serene environment. Experience the adventure of tent accommodation, sit by the fireside and relive those typical Ghanaian moments with our Nancy stories. We have the jungle party with barbecue, Jama night, visits the Asinima waterfalls, Wukugwa, which is Konfa Nochi's hometown, among other historic places. We also spent time at the Safari Valley Eco Park with good lunch. You just need 1,500 Ghana cedis for your transportation, access to the tourist site, food board meals, and everything will be sorted. So save a spot now. Please pay your money through Momo number 059-303-8842. Again, 059-303-8842. The name on the Momo account is Daniel Boyfield Multimedia Group. And your reference is Joy Camp. For more information, please call 030-221-6540. The Eastern Camp Adventure, discoveries, fun, and memories. Still here talking about film in Ghana, Ghanaian film, and how we can use these films to shape society. How powerful, we know how powerful our films are, or film is, if you like. And so it's very important that as a people, we need to use our films to communicate how unique we are as a people to the outside world. That is why we're here today. And I've been talking to Uncle Ken, Atugate, Tony Asankuma, and Abeku Sego. Let me come to you, Ato. You were on the floor before we went to Ejako. So let me come to you. And you were talking about the film industry and the fact that we're not being intentional, right?
No, you're not being intentional.
Yes, you were confirming Tony Asankuma's submission, yeah.
Yes. And the fact that we had the telenovelas coming in
to,
as it were, kill the interest of producers and writers when it comes to going to the mainstream production of films.
Exactly.
Because it got to a point in time, where is the market? Mm-hmm. The market made readily available for them, centered all in the telenovelas.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention so many, but when you look at, let me use, it is there. Look at Akwaba Magic came into the picture. All they could do was, they created the fund where they called producers and writers. Mm-hmm. All they wanted to have as product to market and to showcase on their channel were the series.
Okay.
They were not so much interested in films. Producers 13 episodes, 26 episode, 48 episode content, so that every single week, twice in a week, I'll have something to showcase on my channel.
Great.
Because they don't want to have the movie to do it. So you have wonderful producers and writers who can easily go deep into our culture and say, I'm bringing out something that will be marketable. But one thing also that is actually causing this major problem is the fact that the individualism is so great that we look at what we stand to gain as a company.
Each one for himself.
God for us all.
I think
Yeah.
you're talking about television, and so when television asks for series, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's what sustains them in the long term. You
I
know,
understand
films in actual fact were not. There are films that are specifically made for television.
Sure.
Exactly.
And yet they are not. The producers are not even looking in that direction. That's why I'm bringing this one into the picture. Because of that, we used to do it, but then it got to a point in time, the demand made them to even forget that we can easily do this. And that has really affected the film industry. Whether we like it or not, that is what has really affected the film industry. I know of certain producers, they wanted to do film. But when the whole thing turned into television asking for content, they actually forgot themselves that, look, we are film producers. And they will ask you, bro, I need to survive. You get the point? I need to survive. I even look at even our cultural aspect, what we need to do to even portray what we have and market it so that the world will buy into it.
Exactly.
But you see, producers and writers, as we have today, I won't say most, some will not even take time to read, to find out or research deep into our culture, what we stand as Ghanaians and market as. It can be done. Let me use Ifya Sichi, for instance, on Coming to America, Part 2.
Yeah.
About 90% of the designs and the clothings were African centered.
Yeah, I interviewed her.
She was asked one particular question. What were you? She said, look, I had to take almost like 80% of Ghanaian culture when it comes to fabric in order to market what we have. They asked for African.
Yeah.
And she directly directed herself into her roots. Maybe probably I know my fashion. I'm so comfortable with what Ghanaian fabric.
Exactly.
And creatively, she had to mix them to produce what the producers want on that particular film. And it was a sellout. You ask yourself, look at the Woman King, for instance. What is the subject matter? It's about woman empowerment. And the fact that the person is standing against certain things that must not be done in the community. We have a lot of things to tell when it comes to our culture or it comes to the aspect of our values. But the issue is, our writers and producers, do they have that interest?
The interest matters.
Interest
is key.
and the passion for you to want to tell your own. Other than want you to be fictitious all the time in order to make money.
Why do we whip up the interest? How do we whip up the interest? The how?
You see...
Are you done? Are you done?
Yeah.
Let me go to Uncle Ken. How?
Kwame.
Why am I saying why? How do we whip up the interest, Uncle Ken? He's been talking about interest.
I'm sitting here and I'm saying that did the advent of technology in film become a bane in producing quality movies?
No.
I would say yes. Because you see, back in the day when it was only celluloid, I keep going back to celluloid. Celluloid was so expensive that no Tom, Dick and Harry would get up and to go and shoot a film. You lie. I mean, it was so expensive that you needed a whole, company to come together to shoot.
Knowledgeable people.
Of knowledgeable people. Yes, knowledgeable people within the industry to come together to put up a film. And with celluloid, you produce a film, and that film, back in the day, because of cinema houses strewn all over the country, was sure to make you your money. You produce one film, it came in reels of maybe 16 reels.
Yeah.
And these reels start from, say, opera. 12 o'clock at opera. From opera, it moves to Orion. Okay? It stays in Orion for the whole week, if not more. Then it moves to Ofair in another part of Accra. It comes to Newtown You know, there was a cinema in Newtown. There was a cinema in Osu,
Almost every
Regal.
community had a cinema.
Every community had a
Even
cinema.
in my Koforidua.
Koforidua, you had
real cinema.
Real. I remember real cinema in Koforidua. So you were bound to do the circuit and recoup the money for the movie, and nobody was going to duplicate that movie. You understand?
Yeah.
There was no piracy on celluloid because we had a piracy celluloid. You know, with the advent of technology, and particularly the video, Obia Bedani producer. Obia Bedani producer. Quality dropped, and we were like ants, all trying to go and get some sugar on the floor at the same time, you know. And how was that going to help us go along? It created a lot of. So I sometimes sit back and I ask myself, did technology help us, or it did not?
It has helped us, though. But I think it's a two-way thing.
Not.
In other countries.
I was coming to that.
Yes.
You see, still, when you look at the Americas, for instance, you look at Hollywood, with all the, we were sitting here talking about series for television and all that being something that has weakened the film producers from being able to put out movies. Look, in America, they still adhere to the distribution line. First stop.
They're also shooting series.
Yes, they're also shooting series. But first stop for a movie is the cinema. It has to do its rounds in the cinema. Even with the advent of video at the time now, it has to do the cinemas before it was released on video.
On tape.
And you know, in the chain, it is not maybe the same film company that will even release it on video. They will sell
To a
they will sell the rights to
yeah.
a video company to do that. And after that, they will then think of television. So you see, if you have systems in place, everybody enjoys the fair share.
That's very true.
The fair share. Everybody enjoys the fair share, but we don't. So now, what is happening? I just spoke about the series. Where the series are concerned, with television now, I don't have a problem with television producing series because that's what they need to survive.
That's the format.
That's the format for television. No, that's the format for television. So I don't blame them at all. Look at the skits that filmmakers, so-called filmmakers in this country, have now jumped into on social media. I wouldn't even mind if the skits were shot
properly
with good quality production.
But again, these are wannabes who are eager to showcase. I'm not holding brief for them. I'm not saying that it's professional, but some of them don't even have the wherewithal to even buy those equipment to shoot. So they are trying to do something.
With the advent of cameras, somebody will use a camera to do a skit and put on social media.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you see that the person has got 1 million views.
Exactly.
It's because of the monetization of these skits. They are able to make quick money
from them.
Easy money.
So they don't care what goes into the production.
They don't care what goes into the production. And how is that going to help some serious filmmaker who now wants to do quality work and needs the money? It's serious, man.
You see,
all right.
Filmmaking is international. It's global. Unfortunately, one of our setbacks is that we're inward looking. So most times you hear Ghanaians say, "Oh, the Ghana market is small." The Ghana market is small. But we are sitting here watching American films. If only Americans were going to watch American films, I'm sure they won't make anything. What's the population of America?
The whole world.
That's true.
You know, but you make the film. Every work of art is for the global market.
Exactly.
For the global eyes. You know, but so when you're making a film in Ghana, you must consider who are going to see it outside of Ghana. And that is where then quality will become a standard practice.
And that is why there are not too many Ghanaian films on Netflix per se. And we keep asking why aren't there a lot more Ghanaian films
I think
on
there are
Netflix?
different dynamics to that.
Yes. Yes. There are requirements.
Exactly.
There are requirements, Kwame, and strict ones are that for you being able to come onto there.
That's I say that even in the US, in Hollywood, even when you give in your script to a producer, before you accept it and give it to a reader, you look at the format
in which you wrote
of the film, the presentation. If it does not meet the standards, no, they will just leave it in the next.
The big question is, are producers and writers, are they meeting these requirements? Do they really know? They are not requirements. We are talking about Netflix, for instance. They want to get there.
Let me go to.
They don't have what it takes to
They
get
don't
there.
have the funding.
I think Tony has an answer.
Okay. They have systems. For instance, if I wrote a script as a writer, there are systems through which I'll put it in order to ensure that it comes out acceptable.
Yeah.
I attended a producers meeting in New York. It was a reading session. Somebody had finished the script, brought it to the producers meeting, and they had invited actors to come and read it. And those sitting there who are also writers, they write without fearing that somebody will steal their idea.
Okay.
So he brings it to the public. The other writers come, they make suggestions. No, put this here, change this here. And then, so by the time the script is ready for shooting, plenty people would have put in ideas. And they come out with the best.
How can do we have the time?
Tony.
So to add to what you just said, one of the services I provide, I've been providing in the last couple of years is script review services, and it's a model that I was fortunate to have learned from how Hollywood operates, where when you have a script, you send it to a script doctors. They are called script doctors. They read and they consult, and then they provide you with, input to better the script. And I've been doing that for some Ghanaian filmmakers in the last year. Just that,
they don't pay.
Yes, and I mean, what? Well, that's a conversation for another.
You're even lucky to get scripts.
Yeah, that's true. Because look, sometimes the problems in our space, and when you think about it, it's surprising that even some people that are even at the top of the let's say the whole the whole business are part of the problems, to a point where this might sound funny. I was trying to promote I'll help promote a Ghanaian film. I reached out to the producer director on my own accord, not for money. Oh, can I get your synopsis? He told me he doesn't do synopsis. I'm like, I've never heard this anywhere in the world where a film doesn't have a synopsis.
It became a requirement at the Cinematograph Board of Control.
Okay.
He said he doesn't do synopsis.
Before you bring your film,
you should have.
It should come with the synopsis.
I was so shocked.
And it became a problem.
I took a screenshot of that conversation, and I had to ask other people, is this done? He said no, he doesn't have synopsis. And I'm like, so why would anybody want to come to the cinema to watch your film if they don't know what it's about? But back to the conversation about Netflix and the business behind it.
Yes.
I think a lot goes into it. We've talked about the quality, the standards, the requirements that they need to enable you get your film onto Netflix. But I've maintained, and I'm seeing this, that our biggest problem as a space is because we do not have Ghanaian distributors who understand the terrain for distribution of film now.
No.
So all the Ghanaian films that you see on Netflix, they didn't get there by chance. They went through a distributor who could be a Nigerian, who could be a South African company, who understand the model. And these distribution companies usually have a quota of films they are supposed to submit to. So of course, if I'm of this country, I would prioritize content coming from my country than content coming from Ghana. I've seen some very good Ghanaian films, very good Ghanaian films that couldn't make it to Netflix.
Wow.
Because of the distributor they went through.
Wow.
Right? And I've seen some very horrible films from different parts of the world end up on Netflix.
Yeah.
So the business for that is different. Also, there's the issue of demand meeting supply, which is key, right? Off air, we are talking about how Nigerians, for instance, have come to understand the business of paying subscription, right? So if Netflix is looking at their data, they know where the money is coming from. They know those who are paying more for subscription.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would entertain, and they look at their analytics and they know that these people who are actually paying or buying subscription, this is the kind of films they watch. These are the kind of content they are interested in. So they'll give priority to those content. But on our space, we are still trying to, get into a film like what's his name, Pascal Ake's Gold Coast Lounge.
Yes.
If he tells you the struggle he had to go through to even get it on Netflix.
Wow.
And who can say Gold Coast Lounge is a bad film?
Fantastic.
It's a good film, but he went through. They got to a point. Distributors were telling him the film is in black and white, but at that point there were black and white films on Netflix. Right? So the challenge is bigger than that, right? But again, it all leads back to us being intentional and being purposeful in making sure that some of these obstacles do not hold us back. The conversation about producers dovetailing into creating content for TV.
Yeah.
That's a format on its own, right? I have my own reservations with how Aquaba Magic introduced and how it seems to have, in my own opinion, destabilized the flow of our then growing cinema culture, right? But you cannot take away the fact that they are putting money in the pockets of producers, and that is key. They are putting money not just in the pocket of producers but actors.
Sure.
Today, if you call about 5 actors, they'll tell you, "Oh, I'm on set. I'm shooting."
Production for.
They are busy.
Yeah.
And all of us, the highest fees.
Yeah.
And
yes.
It's from Aquaba Magic.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It will shock you. If you hear some of the production
then
budgets,
I think they are contributing greatly to
some of
our film industry.
Production budgets, right? But we cannot overlook. I was explaining to somebody that it's become a gift and a curse in the sense that, like Uncle Ken stated, the core of film business is cinema, right? Nigerians, for instance, can afford to dump films online because they've probably made money from.
They've already made
their money from cinema.
Yes.
They can afford to upload the film onto
YouTube
because that becomes residual income for them.
Exactly.
They've made money. We had the news when what's it called? The recent one, Tribe of Judah.
Yes.
Made $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Apparently made $1 million in cinemas
in
Nigeria. So if that film leaks online on some streaming platform or Telegram, she's not bothered.
That is bonus.
What's her name?
Funke
Akindele.
Yeah.
She's made her money.
She's made her money. There are so many examples, and it's because they were able to stick to the fundamentals of the business.
That's right.
Which is cinema.
Look, why do people talk of box office?
Yes,
box office. When you hear of the box office
I'm going to shock you again. Right?
Okay.
So just a few weeks ago, there's this conversation about a very high topic film, Queen of Accra, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You saw the conversation that went on social media concerning this film. Imagine that film in a Ghanaian space where we have a cinema culture. Imagine
everybody will flock to watch it.
Exactly. Imagine, and you know where the conversation was going, even becoming a tribal banter.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Imagine we had, let's say, 5 cinemas here in Accra alone, and the Ga community decides that this is our film. Right. Let's go to the cinema and watch it. Imagine what that would do.
Sure.
But unfortunately, we don't have that cinema culture. And also maybe unfortunately or fortunately, that was a film that was commissioned by a television station. So they've paid for it. They can do whatever they want to do with it. They would show it on
more or less like an exclusive to them.
Exclusive to them. They will show it on set March at 3 p.m. And then they can decide not to show it again. And they can decide to show it as many times as they want.
Yeah.
But again, we might not feel the impact that a film like that will be making on the general conversation about how well our films are doing. And we can't fault the producer or whoever is behind the film. Neither can we fault Aquaba Magic, because they are doing business in essence. They paid for it, right? So the conversation would always come back to the business behind the filmmaking. Because when you even talk to a producer and tell them, look, pay me to review your script, they'll say they don't have the money. They'll rather commit that maybe 5,000 CDs they are supposed to pay you to review a script to probably rent a camera or pay a lead, actor to be in the film, right? But all these things add up to the value of the film. All these things make sure that you don't go on set and you are telling a story that is not factually accurate. You are telling a story that does not really represent what is current times. Or you are even telling a story that does not have a theme or subject matter that can be relatable to your primary audience. Right? So all these things, I believe, and I always stress on that fact, and I always keep going back to it being intentional, that even the producers now, I'm making a clarion call to them, even some of the big producers now who are caught on the Aquaba Magic bag, they need to be intentional to want to go back to cinema. And even if you beg them...
But which cinema?
Which cinema? That's the question.
We have silver bed.
The industry, it's why it's called an industry is that it has various divisions and sectors and sections like any other industry.
Yeah.
I mean, I always cite the example that if I'm going to put up a factory to produce tomatoes, when I say that, people laugh at me. I say if I want to put up a factory to produce tomatoes, I'll employ accountants, qualified accountants. I'll employ HR. I'll employ drivers. I'll employ electricians. I'll employ lawyers. I'll employ
farmhands.
Different people to come.
Exactly.
Yes, and play their role.
Yeah.
But
when it comes to
film, I'm writing the script. I'm directing. I'm looking for funding. I'm coming to produce. I'm looking for distribution.
You star in a film too.
You are multi-talented.
And all that. You could be multi-talented even in the US. I mean,
it's done.
They do it, But then, even when you're doing it, there are other professionals.
True.
Who are supporting it.
True.
Distribution organizations or agencies.
Key.
So that even when you are conceptualizing, you're already talking to a distributor. You're talking to marketers. You're talking to reviewers. You're talking to all the various sections. So when the film is going through, it's going through a process.
Wow.
By the time the film is done, the whole world already knows about it, and people are expecting to see it.
Look, Abeku, not too long ago, Kwame.
Yeah.
The cinema culture was with us.
Yes.
Not too long ago. Even when we had Ghana films, what was the theater called?
The Executive. There was the Executive
Lounge
and then the General.
or whatever.
Yes.
Do you realize how people used to queue there week in, week out to watch new movies? When I was growing up in secondary school, when we come on holidays, Kwame, the film...
What?
you are talking to... Look, the culture, the film-going culture was so hip because that's where one of the places you could take your girlfriend to. Everybody looked out. I mean, it was a routine that was adhered to every week. People going out to watch movies all over Accra, And it was lovely. But what caused the
But interestingly, in the beginning we were watching American films,
Yes.
Indian films,
Yeah.
Chinese films. And then when we started doing the video
videos.
thing, even the
All the
Basa Basa
video theaters
thing,
were full.
everybody we stopped watching the American films.
You see.
We
All
stopped
the
watching
video,
that.
yes.
We were watching our
Daniel
we're happy
Amwating
that our own
Daniel Amwating is with the
was coming.
NFA, and he agrees with you regarding the cinema thing. He's even mentioning film festivals as well. Yes, as things that will help us.
Because
boost the
Kwame,
film
it is
industry.
important.
A lack of collaboration.
It is important.
We don't collaborate at all.
And then for us, what we need to do, the producers, is to look to invite other professionals to come in. The polytechnics and the universities are churning out marketing guys in their numbers. What stops us from meeting the academic boards to say introduce creative arts, marketing?
How is he coming to market your film?
Is that?
How is he coming?
No,
to
they are the
market your film?
professionals.
Yes.
We say we need people to help us.
Yeah, but
we need marketers to help.
But he will come and he will ask you, one, how do I market your film? The most important, what's the model? The most important thing is for me to have theaters where people will go to and watch your film. From that, when I start putting out information that, hey, this film grossed this amount of money at the box office, then it arouses interest from the other areas.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? But without that,
and I'm saying that
if you do
if
not
they are
follow
the professionals, the research is part of their business. So, but then we need to all of us sit down.
Great.
The outlets are not there.
Great. We've been joined by a legend.
It's international.
We've been joined by a legend, King Ampao. But before that, let me read these responses here. So this one says, my favorite Ghanaian movie of all time is The Boy Kumasenu.
That must be a very old man.
Yes. This is from Anthony Ni Ajete Ajayi Achimota. Good day to Gold Coast, Ghana, a.k.a. God's own Ghana. Yeah, it's between I Told You So and Deadly Voyage. This one is from Shem Mixon, Yeboah. And we have another one from the taxpayer. Says another killer was the TV platforms wasn't ready to buy the Ghana series and movies for its worth. They wanted it for the chicken change. Per my little findings during a research, telenovela was cheap. Comparing the two, they didn't deem it fit to patronize our own. After all, the novella was, according to them, affordable, and consumers liked it anyway. The TV stations are part of the problem. Also, just like Children's Matter, adults matter too. The flesh movies and series is meant for US. That's why it's rated above a certain age. Okay, I understand. And in other projects, PG is advised. Thanks so much for your messages right here. Joy 99.7 FM, and we're still here talking about Ghanaian movies. In the meantime, though, I need to quickly go on the phone lines and speak to one legend who has joined us. We are back. .7 FM, and we are going straight to the phone lines here. We have a special guest, and he is a giant in the film industry. And when I say a giant, he is. In fact, he's a pioneer. He's produced, directed, and acted in a number of films, including Nana Akoto, Juju in 1985, Kukren Tumi, Road to Accra in 1983, No Time to Die, that was in 2006, and the Hollywood movie Cobra Verde in 1987. His works have won awards both locally and internationally. He was the first filmmaker to win an honorary award at the Africa Movie Academy Awards in Nigeria and other awards in Germany. And he also received a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2013 at the Ghana International Film Festival. We say he is a pioneer in Ghana's film industry because he was one of the very few people that started producing films as private entities after the Ghana Film Industry Corporation days. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say good afternoon or good evening to King Ampao. Sir, welcome to Showbiz A to Z.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
And I trust you're doing well.
All age has catch up with me, but I'm following the old age syllables. Yeah.
Great. And let me say, you've done so well for this industry. For those of us who've been observing and watching and who have read about you and the great things you've done in the industry, we can only say that kudos for the great work that you have done for us.
Yeah. Also, thank you very, very much for getting me now, because I think this is my first time. It's my first time that I'm being on air here. Yeah.
Wow. We must be blessed. Okay, so let me start with you from post Gold Coast Film Unit days when Kwame Nkrumah established the Ghana Film Industry Corporation in 1964. Tell us, what were predominantly the themes of the movies that were produced then?
In those times, I was a kid, but what I can remember is the film they were shooting in those days at the Ghana film industry, especially wasn't commercial film. It was in those days an industry which was taken over from the British film unit, which was producing films with the white directors, so that for the colonized Africa. But on and on, when it became to the hands of Ghana, Ghanaians, this Kwame who saw it better of trying to change it and bring the African aspect into it. Okay, it is true that in those days, in 1961, I had a chance of going to abroad, going to Germany to study the film. That's all what I can tell you now about the establishment of the film industry in those things, pro and pre.
Great one there. But what was the reception like from Ghanaians when the likes of you, Kwawan San, William Akufu started producing movies independently?
I came from Germany, and when I came from Germany, nobody knew me. I didn't know anybody also. When I came, the first independent producing I experienced in the country was a Panchas. First film, what's the name? I'm forgetting about it. The productions with Akufu and this, they wanted much in the language, on and on. They tried to modify it, but it didn't take them long. On the way, also, they fell down. Yeah. I think the consumption was a love go in African sport. Yeah. When I came first, I joined the Ghana television industry.
Okay.
I was working as a film director at the Ghana TV GBC. Yeah. But with some few years, I found that that's not what I'm made of. So I got out.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this question. So the issue of funding is critical in terms of film production. But during your days, how did you fund your projects?
I've heard the gentleman in the studio talking about funding, funding. Excuse me, gentlemen, you should all listen to me. Actually, to put the facts down, commercial film production has got very little, not much, to do with government. It is a purely private enterprise because of the money involved in it. Of course, government, but government can only give you film funds which will promote you to even come to the situation where you can produce your films. But looking at the government to give you money to produce a film as unfortunately my young people here are emphasizing and emphasizing all the time on it. I think that has made us a little bit lazy in going around and trying to make the things on our own. After all, look, how much money can the government give for so many filmmakers? Look, listen to the films I've been making, the films I wanted to make. The whole government film fund, I may use it for only one production, for one film. So what is that? We must start to change our attitude and our mind on that.
So would you rather suggest that we invite investors on board rather than bank our hopes on government to come to our rescue?
Exactly. We must go private. You must think from the private aspect. And look at me. All these movies have been made. I never asked for one single peso from Ghana government. I had my script. You must have a universal touch, well-worked script, as I've been hearing your gentlemen talking about. More with it. Try to convince people that this is an universal story which can touch black, white, yellow, or what. More with it. And please, if you do that, believe me, you get someone and get the funding to make films.
Awesome. But during your days in the past, did you not get any support from, say, the European Union and the German government for any of your projects?
It's true. My own effort. The European Union money is for, they call it African, Pacific, and Asia. The money is there. The money is there in Paris. It's not the government who apply for it. It's you, the individual film producer. You must write your script. You must find all these avenues. You must contact them, send your script there, so that either it will be accepted or not, and you get a fund.
Wonderful.
You must do your homework.
Wonderful. Now, King, we're talking about how we can use our films to shape the Ghanaian society, how we can use our films to portray to the world who we are as a people. From where you were sitting, you have experience, you've observed different generations of filmmakers. How would you say we fared in that regard?
Well, thank you very much. I look at it from two different ways, positively and negatively. As you all know, that film is a very powerful tool on human behavior and human thinking. It has helped many Africans to accept our identity and heritage. Since we have been seeing ourselves in our own movies, unlike in the past where we saw only white folks in movies. It has also pushed us to watch more movies just because we can identify ourselves with the characters we see and get the message from the movies better. Going on, this is why I personally, I've been listening to what you've been saying also. I personally encourage the productions being done in our local areas, in our local languages. You are quite right. This attracts the majority of our people in our society and also have more effect on them. Although I'm not very happy about the quality of most of these productions, I know that Rome is not building it in. Movie production is not finding. It's now finding its way in the African industry, and the industry is now being built. We must be happy. Work hard towards it. Okay. On the other hand, if you ask me, the negative part of it here. Society is very global now, and it is the pity that our African society is going towards the Western society, which we find it very difficult to cope with. Just because we haven't got the infrastructure in our countries to produce the commodities which we need. This has made, I think, our middle class become very corrupt, trying all means to get money to acquire the standard of the Western world. And most of our African movies producers and makers are encouraging them on this trend by producing movies which teaches the middle class of the lifestyle of the Western world that I'm talking about. We see in the productions only big luxurious cars, mansions with swimming pools, etc. to mention few. Expensive restaurants, to mention few of these things which are portrayed in this our present. I'm not saying that we must show only our both life. No. But there must be a limit. To end out this trend, I think we in Africa, we must rather try to build the institutions of movie productions in our African countries to be able to produce quality films to tell our African stories in our modern African way of life, culturally and traditionally. And when we do that, we get more African audience to follow us, identify themselves with this, and we come somewhere. I mean, let's end here.
Great. But before you go, a follow-up question to a point raised earlier on regarding the funding thing. The money that you get from those donors, if you like, European Union and those people, are these monies that are huge enough to support your projects?
No. They mostly give you percentage of it.
Okay.
And as I said, you have to go commercially, private, free, to try to get other monies, top it on top to be able to make your films.
Wow.
Look at my films that I've been making here. I've been able to organize, convince, to get even European television funding, television money, to shoot such African films which have got nothing to do with Europeans here. I'm saying, write a universal, attractive script which touches all colors. Move with it, fight for it, and you get something.
Great.
That's simple.
Great, awesome. Thanks very much, King Ampar, for your time this evening on Showbiz A to Z. And anytime we need help, we sure will come to you again. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so you just heard King Ampao there. He's a veteran, he's a pioneer, he's a giant in the film industry, speaking to us on this subject. Still here on Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and we've been talking about how to use films to shape the Ghanaian society. We also have another actor online. Let me quickly speak to him. He was supposed to have been here, but he's been caught in an engagement. Master Richard.
Yes, sir.
Oh, senior man.
Yes, boss.
Great to have you here on Joy 99.7 FM.
Good to be on.
Oh, and sorry for worrying you today. I've worried you, pa.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's unfortunate I couldn't make it up to the studio. First of all, I'd like to say good evening to your cherished listeners and your guests out there, and thank you for having me. Unfortunately, I was stuck in a class. That's why I couldn't make it. So I'm sorry about that.
Don't mention. But please, let's go straight to the point here. So we are assessing the Ghanaian movies that we've been producing, looking at how we've been able to portray Ghana to the outside world with our films, shaping the Ghanaian society. In your opinion, how well have we done in this regard?
Right. Thanks for having me. Let me understand what you're trying to say. You're saying that we have used Ghanaian films to project the country and how well we have done this.
Yes. So most times we talk about how other film industries, and we usually cite Nollywood, how they've been able to create a very nice impression about their country, projecting their ideals and their values to the world. And we're asking how well we've been able to do that to our country through films as well.
I think the understanding is there that film is a tool to project one's culture, one's livelihood, one's story, one's history. These are enormous benefits that film brings to a society. But on top of that, it also creates employment for masses of the population if well trained. And we know the consequences on economics and all of that. So it's been clear since God knows when film started. But as to whether we have taken advantage of that to project our country, our history, our culture, and all the areas that I mentioned, I will say no. I think that we started on the path, but at a point in time, we either got stuck or we forgot about the principles, and we were not able to use this important tool, or we have not been able to use this important tool to do what other societies have used films to do to their benefit. So it's very unfortunate that we have not even attempted doing it. I said we started the path by creating the Ghana Film Industry, the Ghana Films Corporation, and all of that. At the time, it all went out in the wind.
Wow. So, Mickey, what's the way forward?
The way forward is for us to look at the negatives that external projects are having on our society and repair it. The second thing is also to tell media houses. I think that the first step is to strengthen policies, considering these benefits, some of which I didn't mention. We have to take steps to put policies together to make sure that the benefits that film could bring to every nation gets to us. Otherwise, I'll put a big chunk of the blame on the doorsteps of the policymaker, because they're supposed to generate policies to bring economic benefit. I know that tourism is one of the highest income earners to the state. One of the wheels that can project our tourism is filmmaking and all of that, our music and all of that. What have we done about it? We know how powerful America is through their films and all of that. So what is the policymaker doing? Second on the step of the accusation is you, the media. What have we done? You understand? I see telenovelas on our screens at prime time as criminal. And people should be prosecuted for causing financial loss to the state. Yes.
Really? Prosecuted?
It's one of the solutions. Media houses should be prosecuted for showing telenovelas on our TV stations at prime time.
Honorable Mickey, but on what law will you be prosecuting them?
That's what I'm saying. The policymakers should establish the law first.
Okay.
Because it's damaging. You understand? And the last thing is lack of training. Most of the people in that industry are amateurs. because there are no avenues for training. You understand? So all comes with policy. That's what I'm saying. If it's policy driven, all of these things will come to pass. And the agenda is to make sure we make 100% out of the benefits of what films could do to any state.
Great one there. Mickey, we would want to have you in the studio some other time. I think this is a big convo that requires that you are in the studio. So this one is a teaser. We would actually want to have you sometime later so we have an expansive conversation on this one. Thanks so much for your time this evening.
I'll be honored to do so. Thank you too.
Great, sir. God bless you. So Mickey Osei Beko there speaking to the issue at stake today. Joy 99.7 FM. We are back shortly.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# to play. Game Park Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Park Games. More moolah, more power.
Attention all young readers and literary enthusiasts. Get ready to embark on an exciting journey as we enter the qualification stage of the Inter-School Reading Quiz. For the next 21 days starting from February 15th to March 7th, all registered children will have the opportunity to dive into the world of literature, test their knowledge and endpoints to qualify for the next stage of the quiz. It's a race against time and a test of literary prowess. Grab your books off the Pepicov's digital library, sharpen your reading skills, and get ready to embark on this thrilling adventure. It's the qualification stage of the Inter-School Reading Quiz, where every page turned is a step closer to victory.
Qualification stage of the Inter-School Reading Quiz airs on Joy Prime from Wednesdays to Fridays at 4:30 p.m.
In a world where digital threats loom large, it's time to unite for a common cause. Don't miss this opportunity to be part of the solution with the Joy News Youth Braid Foundation National Dialogue on Cybersecurity. It's on Tuesday, the 12th of March 2024 at the EcoBank Head Office Auditorium, Accra at 9 a.m. prompt. Catch the dialogue live on Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, myjoyonline.com, and on all our social media handles. It's an exclusive opportunity to contribute to a safer digital future for all. Our distinguished panel includes the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Mpibuesiako, CEO, Hydra Cybersecurity, Kwame Odro Numapao, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, CEO of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Mrs. Kosi Nchiwa Yankiaye, CEO of the National Identification Authority, Professor Ken Atefua, and the head of IT at the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Jacob Tete Akono. It will be hosted by Benjamin Akapo of Joy News. It's more than just a dialogue, it's a call to action. Let's come together to address one of today's most urgent digital challenges. Join us as we explore strategies to fortify protocols, safeguard citizens' vulnerabilities, and support governmental initiatives such as the National Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038.
There's going to come a time that the church will rise as the highest of all the mountains, and saviors will be raised in the church to deal with the world system. And let it be now. We need to have a national focus. We don't have to lose this ambition, or else we work against the Great Commission.
They are equipped in righteousness, the agenda to possess the nations. Welcome to an equipping center of the word and prayer on Pentecost Hour.
Pentecost Hour comes to you on Joy 99.7 FM every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Hits FM on Mondays at 5:30 a.m. and Joy Prime TV on Saturdays at 7 a.m.
Gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories in the engine room. We have it all. tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Get ready for the cybersecurity event of the year. The 2024 edition of the CISO Summit is back, bringing together cybersecurity leaders, IT professionals, CISOs, experts, and innovators from Ghana and beyond. Join us at the CISO Summit, where we dive deep into the latest trends, challenges, and strategies in cybersecurity. It's not just a conference, it's a gathering of minds to address evolving cyber threats, develop robust security strategies, and promote information sharing. This event will be happening live on the 27th and 28th of March at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Don't miss expert insights, innovative showcases, interactive sessions, and networking opportunities. The rate is a cool 4,000 Ghana cedis for regular and 3,800 for early bird. Valid till 23rd February 2024. Secure your spots now. Visit thecisosummit.com or call 0572 760 472. Be part of the cybersecurity revolution.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# to play. Game Park Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Park Games. More moolah, more power.
Ago, mi here nya wawa tu, kemba Ghana nyon ye joy. Akwabo.
Miawezo.
Mama wana akwabo.
Barka da zuwan watan kasan Ghana a nan gidan Radio Joy.
Obenim busumi eye Ghana busumi.
Miawezo over Ghana Month Jilla Joy 99.7 FM.
Akwaba eba Ghana Month on Joy.
Mimabe Akwaba, what Ghana siani lile yazu, what joy. We invite all of you to join us this March as we celebrate Ghana here on Joy 99.7 FM.
During this Ghana Month, you will be treated to our history, tourism, arts and culture,
our music, our food, language, beliefs, and all that makes us unique as a people.
Right here on Joy 99.7 FM. You'll also get to tell us stories about your region, town, or village and why we should make it a destination. Celebrating our uniqueness as a people.
Ghana Month on Joy FM.
Ghana Month on Joy.
Ghana Month on Joy.
Ghana Month on Joy.
Ghana Month on Joy. Joyously Ghanaian.
Ghana, we now have freedom.
Ghana International School presents another thrilling musical adaptation, The Sound of Music, with a Ghanaian twist. An extraordinary tuneful tale of family, love, and loyalty, featuring Accra Girls and Laboni Senior High School.
Maria, where did you get these abominations? Out of a nightmare?
No, I made them out of the drapes in my room.
Do you mean to tell me that my children have been all around the town wearing those clothes?
Yes, they've become very popular. Everyone smiles at them.
They have uniforms.
They can't be children if they have to worry about their clothes.
They don't complain.
They don't dare. They love you too much and fear you too much.
Don't discuss my children.
Join us on the 19th and 20th of March 2024 at the National Theatre from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Grab your tickets at the GIS Welcome Center or the National Theatre gates. Tickets are 100 cedis for students and 120 for adults.
Sponsors: Atlantic Catering Services and Sun Lodge Hotel Limited. Media partners: Asasi Radio and Joy FM.
It's the GIS adaptation of The Sound of Music. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories in the engine room. We have it all. Tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
It's time to get you stepping. And with DSTV, the only way is up. Because if you upgrade your DSTV package now, you'll get an even higher package on us. So upgrade now and get boosted to enjoy even more live sport, movie action, local drama, and big-time fun for the kids. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package. Visit your MultiChoice office or agent and upgrade today. Terms and conditions apply.
As part of activities to mark International Women's Day and advance conversations aimed at promoting gender equity, the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with Joy Business, presents a dialogue on the theme Creating an Enabling Environment for Women in Organizations and Institutions to Inspire Growth. Speakers are Madam Shika Akolache, Country Director, Enablers Ghana; Mrs. Selassie Adam, Assistant Director of Career Services at Ashesi University; and Mrs. Linda Vasnani, Chief Operations Officer at Conship. Date is Monday, 11th March 2024, and time is from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. This program will be live on Joy News and Joy FM, as well as online via the Joy Business social media pages.
Dive into a new era of news consumption with myjoyonline.com, your go-to destination for cutting-edge journalism, giving you the most credible stories from business to politics and from sports to entertainment. Myjoyonline.com introduces an upgraded news website meticulously designed to empower you with an enriched browsing experience like never before. Experience the future of news browsing with myjoyonline.com.
There's going to come a time that the church will rise as the highest of all the mountains, and saviors will be raised in the church to deal with the world system. And let it be now. We need to have a national focus. We don't have to lose this ambition, or else we work against the Great Commission.
They are equipped in righteousness, the agenda to possess the nations. Welcome to an equipping center of the word and prayer on Pentecost Hour.
Pentecost Hour comes to you on Joy 99.7 FM every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Hits FM on Mondays at 5:30 a.m. and Joy Prime TV on Saturdays at 7 a.m.
Gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories in the engine room. We have it all. Tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Joy 99.7 FM. Let me say big shout outs to you, Ni Ofedodu, Attractive Mustafa, and all the great guys doing the listening right now on Showbiz A to Z on Joy 99.7 FM. A happy birthday to Richard Alebna of Accra Brewery. Stay blessed always and be good. This one from DJ Ubete, the highest paid DJ in the whole of Africa. I mean, the whole wide world. And happy birthday to you, Ezekiel Adi of the Multimedia Group. Brother, enjoy your day. Now, some more responses here. This one says, one challenge with our film industry is we don't use the right age for the roles. For instance, a young man acting as an old man makes the movie not to look real. That is not common with the Nigerians. From Nuku Ata Abiu, listening from China. Oh, here. Greetings, Showbiz A to Z. Mr. Abeku Sego, please, where is Nana Ohene King, Mr. Victor Lutritz, and Grandma Grace Naughty's beautiful daughter, who was an actress too, Ni Saki Choco. Okay, my favorite movie, Love Brewed in an African Port, Villa Kakalika series from Deka in Accra. This one says, I totally agree with Tony Asankuma. Having a good story is very different from telling a great story or great stories. Ghana has amazing stories, but are not told right. A simple story can be told in such a nuanced way to have you attached to the journey and emotion of the characters. Most Ghanaian movies now just power through plot lines and do not tell the stories right. I fully agree with King Ampao. Even down to cinemas, filmmaking practitioners should be able to generate interest enough to get private cinemas interested in establishing themselves in Ghana. Thank you so much. This one from Manson for Kwesi Blue says, one of the best Ghanaian movies had the late Mark Jordan Amate as the protagonist or main character. He was Mr. A.A. Aya. Yeah, I can't recollect the title of that movie. Manson for Kwesi Blue says, we can create our own kind of Netflix. Geoff Kobe says, I fully agree with King Ampao, even down to cinemas, filmmaking. Okay, I think the same message here. Thanks so much for your messages. Joy 99.7 FM. Let me come in here and wrap up. Let me go to my guests and take their closing remarks, the way forward. Yeah, we've been talking about this so many times, but we need to do that so that we see the industry grow. Let me start with you, Uncle Abeku Sego. Yeah, the way forward.
Yes, the way forward is we need to build an industry.
Great.
We need to build an industry. I've always said that there are various segments of the industry.
Exactly.
And we need to develop all of them, as the blocks for the industry to move forward.
Awesome.
Yes, funding is also important.
Very.
As to where it comes from, whether it's from government or from European Union or African Union or wherever it comes from, it's important. Without funding, we cannot.
We need it.
We need it.
Anyways.
We need the funding to make the good films. Yes, and of course there's the fear that the whoever pays the piper would call the tune, but it's a normal way of life, and even if European Union gives you the money they will also want you to make films that will not project the African personality or African ideals. They would want you to project the European. I always say, look at the Nobel Prize for Literature. Very great African writers like Chinua Achebe, the Kenyan Ngugi Wathiongo. They never got the Nobel because they were projecting the African image.
I'm not cutting you. Leila Jansi said about 2 years ago that she was denied sponsorship because her lead role for a movie was black. And this is seeking help from outside the country.
Yes.
Sponsorship from outside the country.
Whoever is bringing the money, we always call.
Yeah.
So I'd rather, if Ghana government gave the money and they said, make a film that projects Ghanaian-ness, I'll take that.
Okay.
Yes, I'll take that. Than a European Union funds that will want me to project Adwe Misa. I know that if it becomes popular, I'll have problems with Europe. Because the woman was asking the men of Cape Coast to kick the whites out of the country.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, but the funding is very, very important.
Very.
Yes. And therefore, we need the policies.
Okay.
There was the Ghana culture policy.
Yeah.
That had somewhere that there will be a special lottery. The government will establish a special lottery to fund firms. We never got to doing it.
It's been reviewed, so we're looking forward to that.
So I mean, we need to, but then it must start with those of us in the industry.
Exactly.
Yes. I mean, we will not expect anybody to come and do it for us. We need to start.
Thank you. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, A Woman's Instinct is staging at the National Theatre Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Legon, right? Next week. Yes. 15th and 17th. Great. Thank you, Uncle Abeku Sego. Let me go to Tony Asankoma quickly.
Yeah, final words. I would say we need more conversation around the film industry.
Sure.
I think it's the more we talk about the film industry, its challenges and its problems, we would begin to find headway. I think we've done that for so many years for the music industry, and we've seen a lot of change. We've seen a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of success in that area, and I would love to see that for the film space as well. I think a lot more people should also get vocal, speak up, even if it's on your social media. Speak about the state of the industry. Make time to go to the cinemas. Criticize the films as genuinely, as honestly as you can. Create conversation around our film industry, and I believe that it would whip up some interest in whoever is interested in investing in our space.
Awesome.
And then our industry will grow.
Okay. You don't greet your wife?
She's already texted me soon.
Okay.
I'll be home soon.
Okay.
Well, there's somebody who comes here.
About the building of the centers, the cinemas, and all of that.
Yeah.
I think that we should also establish and inculcate in us the sense of being able to collaborate.
Okay.
Once we come together as production houses, 1, 2, 3, or more, we will be able to put this subject matter to rest.
Awesome. Uncle Ken, you.
Kwame,
Yeah.
you know, we've been talking, like Tony was saying, we should keep talking.
We will talk.
But who listens and who acts
Okay.
on what we say? Those are the important
Very,
issues
very
that
important.
we need to
Very,
come
very important.
to terms with. Because if we talk and talk and talk and nobody listens. And nobody acts.
I think people listen, but they're acting slowly.
Acts. We need action.
Yeah.
But who is supposed to act on what we talk about? Tell me.
The actors in the ecosystem.
Stakeholders,
we call it. Gatekeepers. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Uncle Ken is a broadcaster, Joy 99.7 FM, and Abeku Sego is a film producer, director.